Hi students, today's topic is mechanics. What is mechanics? Mechanics is the oldest and the most fundamental of all branches of physics. Mechanics is the study of the state of rest as well as the state of motion of objects under the action of a force or forces. In mechanics, you will study the objects which are at rest and also you will study the object which are in motion because of a force or because of a system of forces. The study of mechanics is broadly classified into two types. One is dynamics and another one is statics. Let us see dynamics and statics. Dynamics deals with bodies in motion. In dynamics, we will study the objects which are in motion. Statics deals with bodies at rest. In statics, we will study the objects which are at rest. Dynamics is again divided into two types. One is kinematics and another one is kinetics. Kinematics deals with the description of motion without reference to the cause of motion, or we can say how of motion. Kinetics deals with what moves and what causes it to move, or we can say why of motion. Then we see what is motion. Two passengers sitting in a moving train are at rest relative to each other, but they are in motion relative to a stationary observer outside. In other words, rest and motion are relative. Here, two passengers are sitting in a moving train. One passenger sitting in a moving train is at rest for another passenger who is sitting in the same moving train. But for a person who is standing outside the train, for him the two passengers are in motion. That means their rest and motion, the two are relative terms. Thus, we need a reference to describe rest and motion. The reference we use is called frame of reference. Frame of reference means is the reference in which an observer sits and makes the observation. In this frame of reference, there are two types. One is inertial frame of reference and another one is non-inertial frame of reference. Inertial frame of reference means it is a frame of reference which is either at rest or moving with constant velocity. So here in inertial frame of reference, that reference is either at rest or it is moving with same constant velocity. But non-inertial frame of reference means it is a frame of reference moving with some acceleration. Means in this non-inertial frame of reference, a frame of reference that is not moving with constant velocity, there it is moving with variable velocity, or we can say a frame of reference is moving with some acceleration. So that's about inertial and non-inertial frame of reference. To make observation, we attach the frame of reference. Certain coordinate system consists of three mutually perpendicular axes x, y, z meeting at a common point O, that is called as origin. In rectangular coordinate system, there are three axes. Those are x, y and z axis. Their three axes are perpendicular to each other, and the point of intersection of these three axes is called as origin. When a particle moves in space, its position at any instant of time can be described with the help of its three position coordinates x, y, z. which change with time during the motion of particle. Suppose if the particle is moving in a space, then its 3 coordinates will change with time. Then we'll see what is motion and rest. A body is said to be in motion if its position changes relative to other bodies regarded as fixed with the passage of time. A body is said to be in motion when the position of object changes with time. A body is said to be at rest when it occupies a same position relative to other body and does not change its position with the passage of time. In both these cases, we can say a body is said to be at rest. Then motion is of two kinds. One is translatory motion and another one is rotatory motion. A body is said to have translatory motion when it moves such that all particles of the body perform the same motion, that is, have equal velocity at any instant and describe similar paths or trajectory. For example, an arrow shoot from a bow, and another one is a stone dropped from a height. Another example, third example, a train moving on its rail. So many examples are there. So in these 3 examples, in the first example, an arrow shoot from a bow. So in this arrow, that arrow contains many particles. So that particles, if you take any instant of time, at that instant all the particles are moving in the same velocity and also in the same path, same direction. So all the particles of arrow that moving in the same path. At any instant of time, all particles of an object that are moving with the same velocity and also in the same paths. And also in second example, a stone dropped from a height. So in that, stone contains many particles and all those particles are moving in the same path and in the same velocity if you take any instant of its time. And also in the third example, a train moving on its rails. Means a body is said to have translatory motion when it moves such that all particles of the body perform the same motion. Means that's having equal velocities at any instant and describes similar paths or trajectory. And another type of motion, that is rotatory motion. The motion of a body is said to be rotatory if it moves such that a particle or a line of particles in it remains fixed relative to the surrounding. For example, the wheel of a cycle in motion has rotatory motion. It has rotational motion about its axis. So in that rotatory motion, for example, ceiling fan. So there you observe a rotatory motion. How it moves such that a particle or a line of particle in it remains fixed relative to the surrounding. Means the center of that object that remains fixed relative to the surrounding. Surrounding particles are moving in a circular path, but center particles which are present at the center, that are fixed. The main characteristic of motion of a particle are its trajectory, coordinates, displacement, velocity, acceleration and path length. Then we'll see motion in one dimension. The motion of a particle is said to be in one dimension if only one of its 3 coordinates specifying the position of a particle change with time. To specify the position of particles, we need coordinates. In rectangular coordinate, as I said now, there are 3 coordinates. If all the 3 coordinates changes with time, then we can say motion is 3-dimensional. Suppose if only one coordinate which changes with time, then we can say that motion of object is called as one-dimensional motion. One-dimensional motion means the motion of a particle is said to be in one dimension if only one of 3 coordinates specifying the position of particle change with time. So either x or y or z, that should change with the time, any one coordinate. Out of 3, if any one coordinate which changes with time means that type of motion is called as one-dimensional motion. Example, car moving along a straight road. So there only one axis will change. Suppose if the object is moving in a x coordinate, means x axis, then there only x coordinate will change. Suppose if the car is moving in a y coordinate, means y axis, then there only y coordinate will change. Suppose if the car is moving in a z axis, then only z coordinate will change. So car moving along a straight road, that is an example for motion in one dimension. Then we'll see about distance and displacement of object. So first, distance. Distance is the total length of the path described by a particle in a given interval of time. Or we can define in another way. Distance means actual distance traveled by a particle in a given interval of time. Means actual path length. Actual path traveled by a particle in a given interval of time. So that is distance. Then we'll see displacement. Displacement is a vector joining the initial position of the particle to its final position in a given interval of time. Displacement is a vector. Vector, as I said in the last video, vector is a quantity. Vector quantity means it is a quantity which is having both magnitude and direction. So this displacement is having both magnitude and direction. So we can say displacement is a vector joining initial position of the particle to its final position in a given interval of time. For example, here is a example. So consider a body moving from A to B. Here is a point A and B. The object or a body, consider a body that is moving from a point A to B as shown in this picture. The actual length of curved path ACB. Here actual path covered by the body, that is actual path is along ACB. That is the distance traversed by the body in a given time interval. The line segment AB gives the magnitude of displacement of the body in a given time interval. The direction of displacement is directed from A to B. The direction of displacement, it is always from initial to final point. So here object is starting from point A and ending at point B. So the direction of displacement, it is from A to B. And the distance displacement, the magnitude of displacement, that is a straight line which connecting initial and final point, that is AB. The direction of displacement is directed from A to B through the straight line AB, and the magnitude of displacement is AB. Next, some of the important features of distance and displacement. In that first one, distance is a scalar quantity and displacement is a vector quantity. Distance, it is having only magnitude. So distance is a scalar quantity, it's not having any direction. And displacement is a vector quantity because it's having both magnitude and direction. So displacement is a vector quantity. And another feature, path length or distance is a positive scalar quantity which does not decrease with time and can never be zero for a moving body. Displacement of a body can be zero. For a moving body, path length never be zero, but displacement can be zero. And third feature, magnitude of displacement can never be greater than distance. The magnitude of displacement can never be greater than distance. And fourth point, when a body returns to its initial position, its displacement is zero, but distance or path length is non-zero. Suppose if the object started from one point and ended at the same point, then its displacement becomes zero, but its path length or distance, that is not zero. And next point, when body moves along a straight line, displacement is equal to distance. When a body is moving, that is moved along a straight line, in that case displacement and distance are equal. Okay, in next class we will see velocity and acceleration. In next video I will tell you about velocity and acceleration. Okay, thank you.